Hi guys, welcome back to another video. For today's video, it is all about storing photo cards, or just like in the title, how to start a photo card collection, a not so helpful guide. It hasn't been so long since I started collecting photo cards, so I decided to do my research and share them with you. But, before we start, disclaimer, I just started collecting photo cards at the beginning of this year, and I'm also a newbie when it comes to storing photo cards and all these materials needed to store and start a binder. That means what I research may work for me but may not work for you and is not 100% accurate. So I suggest that you also do your own research before buying from the shops and the materials that I'll be mentioning. You know, buy at your own risk. I just really want to share the tips and advice about storing photo cards and about starting a photo card collection binder. Also, all of this information that I'll be sharing is based on my personal experience and from the reviews and feedbacks of different collectors on Twitter. Last but not the least, this is 100% not sponsored by any of the shops or brands that I'll be mentioning. I'll break down this video into 4 parts. First, photo cards. Where and how can I buy photo cards? Second, binder. What kind of binder can I use to store my PCs? Third, photo card sleeves. What brand of PC sleeves do I use? Fourth, optional decos or optional decorations. How can I make my binder prettier? Before we start, let's familiarize some terms first because I'll be mentioning these terms quite a lot. PCs or POCAs are short term for photo cards. Group order or GOs and pasabays. It is wherein someone will buy a photo card or album in bulk according to the number of orders of the people who joined or based on the PCs claimed. The albums or photo cards will be sent to the address of the host of the group order or pasabay and will eventually be sent to you. A group order and a pasabay is a great way to save international shipping fees and to avoid other things or other problems to handle, like the package being held at the PH Customs or adding additional fees. Photo cards. Where and how can I buy photo cards? Photo cards can either be collected from album pools or purchased separately or individually or traded a different PC for it. Where can I buy photo cards? There are a lot of online shopping platforms where you can buy photo cards. But remember, in buying photo cards, it is very important to check the legitimacy of the seller before transacting with them. Mercari is one of the websites that I hear a lot or see a lot where photocard collectors buy from, especially if it's a group order. So basically, Mercari is a Japanese marketplace where you can buy and sell photocards. Although, if I am not mistaken, you need a Japanese address to be able to buy from Mercari, and that is where buyee enters the picture. Buyee is a proxy that you can use to be able to buy from Mercari, and it also offers consolidation, so you can buy anything from Mercari and they will deliver it to Buyee's warehouse address in Japan and deliver it to your address. If you bought from different sellers, you can wait for all your parcels to arrive before you apply for consolidation, since after applying for consolidations, it cannot be cancelled anymore. I haven't bought anything or used Buyee to buy photocards, but I have 2 photocards that were bought from Mercari through the group order that I joined before, and I can say that it is cheaper than the pricing of on-hand photocards. The only downside is that you need to wait for a month or so before it arrives at you. In the first week of June, I joined another group order for hot sauce photocards, and I only got Jemin's photocard, cafe photocard, for 150 pesos, which is usually sold for 350 above if it's on hand. I won't go step by step in discussing how to use Buyee to access Mercari, since there are already step-by-step tutorials here on YouTube about Buyee. Moving on to another popular online shopping platform, you can also buy and sell photocards in Shopee. When I first started collecting photocards, I mainly bought them from Shopee, and they are all legit, as I would say, because I see that there are collectors who are somewhat scared to buy photocards from Shopee because they are scared that maybe the photocards there are fake or are only replicards. But so far, I haven't experienced being sent a replicard stated as an official photocard. For Shopee, I'll be showing you some of the trusted shops that I know where you can buy albums and photocards. But for photocards, I guess it's just a matter of lakas ng loob sa pagbili from those shops that are not preferred or shops that don't have ratings, especially with pictures. I apologize, I do not know what lakas ng loob sa pagbili is in English. It's hard to explain, but anyways, take note that the pricing of photocards or albums in Shopee are quite higher than on FB Marketplace and BNS Twitter because Shopee charges the sellers a transaction fee. First shop, Harufilm PH. Harufilm PH sells photocards and albums of different groups. I bought 2 of my June photocards from Harufilm PH and their packaging is very secured. Although I claimed the photocard from Twitter, Harufilm is one of the trusted shops that I know both in Twitter and Shopee. They also sent me regular updates of my order as well as pictures of the condition of the photocards. Second shop, Kozark, formerly CDLGO or CDLGO. Kozark sells photocards and albums of different groups. It's a big shop, so there are varieties of groups and soloists, photocards, and albums that they offer. I bought my Jongwon baby photocard from here for 190 and their packaging is also secured since my PC arrived safely in good condition. And they also sent me a picture of the photocard before packing. Third shop, C&JJK Merch. C&JJK Merch sells both albums and photocards of different groups as well as light sticks. I bought one of my Jongwon photocard from here and they sent me regular updates of my order and pictures before packing and before sending my order. Their packaging is very secured. It was my first time receiving a package without bubble wraps, but the carton was so thick and I really had no problem with it since my PC arrived in good condition. Fourth shop is mercari or Marquee MG. For this shop, they mainly sell photocards and merch of 17 and unfortunately, if I am not mistaken, they don't sell any treasure photocards and albums, but they do sell photocards and albums of other groups. I bought my Kun Future PC from here and I remember asking for more pictures of the photocard and they did send me pictures and their packaging is also secured. Last shop is Twili Korean Shop. For Twili Korean Shop, I was debating whether to include this or not since I haven't bought anything from here. I did browse their shop and ratings. So far, they have 800 plus ratings, but I saw that there are instances wherein the items sent are damaged according to the 21 to 4 stars ratings. But so far, the shop is good and they sell photocards and albums of different groups as well as light sticks. Moving on to the shops where you can buy albums directly from Korea, you must take note that their pricing is more expensive rather than pre-ordering albums or joining group orders or pasabays. The difference of pre-ordering albums or joining group orders and buying directly from Korea in Shopee is around 300 to 400 pesos, sometimes 500 to 800 pesos. Feel free to screenshot this list. I got this list from my friend and I think she got this from Twitter or if not from Facebook. Aside from online shopping platforms, there are also photocards and albums sold in social media platforms. In my second month of collecting photocards, I decided to create a BNS account in Twitter. Creating a BNS account isn't really required to be able to buy photocards and merch from Twitter, but if you really like collecting photocards and you want to finish your collection fast, creating a BNS account would be really helpful. For those who doesn't know, BNS stands for buy and sell. So BNS Twitter is like FB Marketplace. I started buying K-pop merch in Twitter since 2018, so I have no issues with buying merch from there anymore. There are lots of K-pop shops and just collectors that host group orders and pasabays. And again, as I've said earlier, check the legitimacy of the seller first before transacting with them. Mostly for shop and just cards, they provide hashtags for their proofs and feedbacks. For example, I use hashtag sky_feedbacks and these hashtags are usually in the pinned tweet or in the bio of the seller so that the buyer can easily see it. In my case, I place it in my bio. Tags are really helpful in BNS Twitter. If you want to buy something, you can use the hashtag WTB and hashtag LFS in your post. Or if you want to look for photocards that are for sale, you can use the hashtag WTS and LFB. When I search for photocards, I usually use the keywords WTS LFB Jongwon Photocards PCPH or WTS LFB Treasure Photocards PCPH. You'll be able to see all the posts with those keywords in it. One thing that I like about PNS Twitter is that there are some sellers that sell photocards for a low price or still price. Based on my experience, most of the time, sellers who sell PCs for low prices don't use tags like WTS LFB or WTB LFSPH. They mostly put IC or interest check, and then later on they will post it individually or per batch and will put it up for claiming. Usually, the claiming for photocards are mine basis, form basis, or quote retweet basis. Also, other sellers include codes for specific photocards. If you're trying to find rare photocards or old photocards of the member you are collecting, from time to time, there are collectors who do QS or quitting sale for their whole collection or sometimes downsizing their collection. If you're trying to find a cheaper photocard option, there are lots of collectors who host group orders and pasabays on Twitter, and usually they post it per batch, sometimes all from the same album or sometimes from different albums. As I've said earlier, the only downside for this is that you need to wait for a month or so before the photocard arrives to you. Most of these pasabays or group orders are payo or pay as you order because the seller needs to secure the PCs first. For problematic shops and scammer shops, you can check at Galawin ang Barko since they post feedbacks and problems of shops. Not only shops but for cards or accounts that sells. There are also scammer lists that you can check using the keywords PH scammers or by looking at the account at PhilosCommerceRT. Moving on to FB Marketplace, I haven't bought anything from FB yet. Mostly my friend Am is the one buying our photo cards from FB, and so far it's all good as well. I'm not really sure how FB Marketplace runs, but all I know is that you can join groups like Treasure Marketplace or K-pop Marketplace PH or K-pop Buy and Sell PH and more. Same with Instagram. I haven't tried buying or searching for photo cards and K-pop merch from here, but I did buy from a shop in Shopee who also sells on Instagram. So far, I think it's just like in Twitter. You use tags in your posts, but unlike in Twitter, they use the tags hashtag photocard trade, hashtag photocard sale, and hashtag photocard WTS. Moving on to the second part, binder. What binder can I use to store my PCs? There are different sizes, brands, and designs of a binder. There are A6 binders, A4 binders, and A5 binders. For binder sizes, if you are just collecting one member's photo cards, then you can go for either A6 in size or A5 binder. A6 is cheaper than A5 and it is way easier to store, and it only has 3 pockets per sleeve, but the only downside for this is that it's hard to find a refill for it, and most of A6 binders are non-refillable. A5 binders are perfect if you are only collecting 1 or 2 members' photo cards or if you want to have a separate binder for each member. Also, A5 binders are easy to store unlike A4 binders which are bulky. A4 binders, on the other hand, are perfect if you are collecting all of the members of the group that you stan. I don't recommend using an A4 binder if you are just collecting 2 to 3 members' photo cards, since there are a lot of pockets to fill and you might feel pressured. Because honestly, for me right now, I have so many empty pocket sleeves and I just want to fill those blank pockets with more photo cards, which sometimes pressures me. There are also different numbers of rings in binders. There are 2 rings, 3 rings, and even 4 to 6 rings, which is the most common. And there are also non-refillable binders, as I've mentioned earlier. Beyond D, one of these, Second Mansion, Lucalab are one of those known Korean photocard binders. There are also generic binders that you can find on a local store or online store, and in my country, it's Shopee. For binders, I highly recommend using a hardcover binder, especially those sturdy ones, like binder notebooks, because the cover won't bend or curve like the covers of Beyond D or generic frosted binders, as well as jelly covers or soft binders. But with soft binders or jelly covers, the good thing about it is that it is really pretty. There are glittered and even holographic ones, and also clear covers. One tip in storing soft binders or jelly covers, make sure that it is laid flatly on where you're going to store it. For the designs, most of these are just card holders or Polaroid holders or collection books, but you can use them to store your photo cards, and the designs are really cute. Together with the binder are the binder sleeves. So you can find sleeves from Shopee or from group orders in Twitter. There are generic frosted sleeves, there are Ultra Pro, Beyond D, one of this, and even unbranded Korean sleeves. I'll talk furthermore about the binder sleeves together with the photo card sleeves, but before that, here's a short comparison of the binder sleeves that I've already tried. I have in here 3 kinds of sleeves: generic binder sleeves, unbranded Korean sleeves, and Beyond D binder sleeves. For the generic binder sleeve, it is thick but flimsy. I do not know how to explain it. The thickness is okay, but it easily folds. For the unbranded Korean sleeves, this is my favorite out of these 3. It is really thick and the stitch is really cute. For Beyond D, honestly, I thought it was thick, but then it is thinner than I expected it to be. And also, unlike with the unbranded Korean sleeve, the stitch is continuous, which is really cute. While for Beyond D, the stitch is thinner and it is not continuous. The sleeves that you're going to use is totally up to you. If you prefer branded ones, you can go for Beyond D, which is sold for around 160 to 299 depending on where you'll buy it, especially if it is pre-ordered or on hand. While the unbranded Korean sleeves range from 119 to 160 pesos per pack. Also, the generic frosted binder sleeves are sold for 184 pesos per pack. Now, I'm going to show you how the photo cards look when placed inside the binder sleeves. Now, moving on to photocard sleeves, I'll just talk about the basics since it is really hard to explain everything about PC sleeves and also the binder sleeves, but I'll try my best to explain the important things about them. Very first of all, for the PC sleeves and just sleeves, it is very important to check the materials used in the sleeves and if it is archival safe. Here's a guide posted on Twitter by @Toranicart about archival safe sleeves or plastics. According to her research, PVC are not archival safe, so even though it is stated that it is acid-free, it is not a definite guarantee, so you should always check if the plastic is inert or not. Inert means that it is chemically inactive, so that any chemical reactions like oxidation, which is recognized as the cause of photocard yellowing, will not occur, at least with the plastic used because of the photocard material. So here are the archival award-winning archival plastics. First is the polyester, second is the polypropylene, and third is the polyethylene. So aside from the storage materials, to make sure that your PCs will be safe, check the environment storage conditions as well, because these are also factors. Moving on, there are different brands and kinds of PC sleeves: Mayday Games, Ultra Pro, Sultan Sleeves, Popcorn, KMC, Sleeves Kings, Swan Sleeves, Dragon Shield, and so on. Here's another guide from @Hyox Hall about PC sleeves comparison. Photocard sleeves also have different microns or thickness. The lower the micron, the thinner it is, and the higher the microns, the thicker thicker it is. In here, you can see that Sleeve Kings has 60 microns, Mayday Standard 40 microns, Mayday Premium 90 microns, and Sultan Sleeves 90 microns. I'll be leaving the link of this full guide down in the description box below, as well as the other guides that I've mentioned, so you can feel free to check it for more information. Here's the PC sleeves that I already tried. So back in 2018, when I became a K-pop fan, I don't even use PC sleeves for my photo cards since I only keep them in my album. But when I started collecting at the start of this year, I see a lot of my moods in Twitter talking about PC sleeves, so I tried buying OPP sleeves. But later on, I realized that it is not archival safe since it can cause discolorations in the photo cards. So then I upgraded my photo card sleeves. So I already tried Ultra Pro card sleeves. As you can see, it is clear polypropylene and acid free plus no PVC. Same with Mayday Games premium sleeves. It is polypropylene, archival safe, and acid free, no PVC. Ultra Pro costs around 70 pesos for 100 pieces, but I didn't like it very much since it is flimsy, so I'm just using it for packing photo cards that I sell. Later on, I invested in Mayday Games premium sleeves, the 57.5 by 89mm. This has 90 microns as mentioned earlier. I use this sleeve for outer since I use double sleeves for my PCs, and for my inner sleeve, I use the same brand, Mayday Games premium sleeves 56 by 87mm. Next is the Ultra Pro Deck Protector sleeves. So this one is also sturdy and I have no complaints about it. Also, this comes in different colors. I believe there's steel, there's blue, there's yellow, and even purple. I am also using Sultan sleeves, but I don't know the name, if it is Topaz, Amber, or Sapphire. I'm not sure with their names, but it is originally the PC sleeve that the seller used for my Dream a Dream podcast. For Mayday Premium sleeves and Sultan sleeves, I don't see any difference at all. It's just that Sultan sleeves is a little expensive than Mayday Premium sleeves. I did a poll way back in April about photocard sleeves, and this is the result of that poll. 55% voted for Mayday Premium sleeves, 41% voted for Sultan sleeves, and 4% voted for Ultra Pro sleeves. Finally, moving on to the final part, which is optional decorations. As said, it is only optional. If you want to design your binder, you can, and if you want to keep it neat and just as it is, then you can. But here are some decorations that you can use. First, fillers. For binder fillers, you can make your own or you can buy. There are Arjum fillers or Ardium fillers, and they have cute and pretty fillers. You can also find accounts on Twitter that do binder filler commission or binder cover commission. Next are keychains. There are a variety of keychains that you can use. I'm just lazy to find more pictures, but here are some. Heart shakers, normal enamel keychains, and there are also accounts that does customized keychains which are so cute. Here's an example. And lastly, of course, you can add stickers. And that wraps up our video for today. Honestly, it took me months to create this guide, but anyways, I'll be linking down below more guides about binders and sleeves so that you can check them out for more information. Also, I'll be leaving down the Shopee links of the products that I mentioned, but this is 100% not affiliated links kasi hindi pa ako approved para doon. But anyways, I hope that this video helped you even just a little. You can always find lots of guides in Twitter and basically in the internet. In the end, it's all up to us to find what works the best for us and for our photo cards. Anyway, happy collecting everyone. Bye!